Woo! 1 second success. Smell you later. Knock it off. 1 second success. Michael McLean, book.com, badassletter.com. The toughest advice for the toughest business men. Men like you. Husbands, fathers, grandfathers, entrepreneurs, community leaders. So today I want to talk about one of my all-time favorite concepts that I call 1 minute success. Actually, I call it 1 second success. And the concept comes from the great Tom Peters. Tom Peters is the author of In Search of Excellence, one of the all-time great business books in the early 90s. Peters was a different cat, and I really enjoyed reading several of his books back in the 90s. But one of his ideas was based on this principle of 1 second success. And what it meant was that success does not take long. Success does not take days and weeks and months and years. Success can happen in an instant. Success can happen in an instant. The key that Peters talked about was the fact that we spend all our time thinking about something. We spend all our time analyzing, analysis through paralysis, thinking about it, deciding, not sure, what should I do? Thinking, instead of deciding and acting. And his belief was all change happens in 1 second. All success can happen in 1 second when we decide. To decide means to cut off. Decide means cut off. Decide means to eliminate any and other options. So when you decide, you cut off from everything else. You decide to quit smoking. You decide to change your diet. You decide to start walking every morning 30 minutes. You decide to book Wednesday date night into your schedule, non-negotiable. You decide to start reading real books 30 minutes a day. You decide to study and master direct response marketing. You decide to move your family to a different state, different city, your children to a different school. You decide to stop watching television. You decide to stop watching professional sports for hours and hours and hours and hours each week. You decide to eliminate and cut social media of your life. You decide to get rid of all the apps on your phone, all the logins on your laptop, so you have no access to anti-social media. You decide to leave politics behind. Politics is theater for ugly people. You decide you no longer want any of that in your life. You take all the apps off. You take all the sites. There's no way for you to access the daily mainstream news. You decide. You decide to change your language, how you speak to yourself. You replace can't with won't. You decide to lead the way with better manners. Manners open doors. Manners close doors. You decide to teach your children proper etiquette and manners. Yes, no, please, thank you. You decide to make a difference in people's lives. It's not about money. It's about a smile. It's about holding a door. It's about showing gratitude for the person who hands you your morning coffee. It's about treating people with respect. You decide to do all these different things. You decide to finally write that book that you've been talking about for 30 years. You decide, to do all these different things, which means cut off all other options. So I love this concept that Tom Peters had of 1 second success. He says that we spend all our time musing, kicking the can down the road, and all we have to do in the end is decide. Make a decision and it's done. And he says once you make a decision, so if a person, as an example, decides to drink, they decide that they no longer drink alcohol, or they no longer smoke tobacco, or they no longer gamble. It takes 1 second to make that decision. It takes 1 second to make that decision. But here's the thing, and Peter's talked a great deal about this. Your only job from that point on is to stay on this decision wagon the rest of your life. Period. You make a decision which takes an instant. You make a decision which takes 1 second, and then you spend the rest of your human life every day working to stay on that wagon. In other words, making sure that the decision is cemented. And that goes by my system of 1 day, 2 days, 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. We're getting into the ritual and habits. 30 days. Then you've made this decision for 45 days. You're into a lifestyle. It's now part of your lifestyle, whatever that decision was. And then once you get to 90 days, it's cemented in your mentality. It's cemented in your, it's cemented in your mindset, in your behavior, in your habits. It's a lifestyle. I no longer drink alcohol. I no longer smoke tobacco. I no longer blank. 1 second success, 1 second decisions. I love that concept from Tom Peters. So that's it for today. If you're looking to make a decision in your life, if you're looking to make a change in your world, everything that you do to build your world is single 1 second decisions. That's how you build your world. You don't build it 1 second at a time. You build it one decision at a time, which takes 1 second. That's where you build the world of your dreams. That's where you reach your personal sovereignty. And remember, nothing goes in your world unless it belongs there. 2 words, personal sovereignty. 2 words, personal sovereignty. That's what we're all looking for. That's what we're all chasing. And that's what the end goal is for all of us. So remember that. 1 second success. Tom Peters. And if you're ever looking for a huge read, a massive book, In Search of Excellence is one of those summer books where you chip away at it. It's a beast. So remember to do what I do every single day. Remember to hug your wife and your children and tell them that you love them and that they're the most important people in your world, because they are, and they need to be told. So making sure that that's happening every single day inside our worlds. Speaking of 1 second success, when it comes to my 5-star mastermind, Badass Brotherhood Champions Mastermind, It's $50,000 for the 12 months. It's weekly coaching from Yours Relentless. It's 2 live events in Naples, Florida. Once you get to Naples, you never put your hand in your pocket again. I take care of all the expenses once you're there. I take care of the room. I take care of the conference room. I take care of all the things that you need. I take care of your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 5-star everything. I take care of the professional speaker that I always bring in. And it's 2 days of closed door discussions. So 12 months with me and you joined at the hip. That's what this is going to be. 12 months of you and me and 15 others joined at the hip. When I think of masterminds, I think back to the equation that I was taught by Bill Glazier, the power of masterminds, because his mastermind changed the trajectory of my life. And Bill says 1 + 1 equals 18. 1 + 1, Michael, equals 18. And what he meant by that was he had 18 members in his $30,000 mastermind in the olden days. And his philosophy was 1 + 1 equals 18. You're in a group, it's you plus him, but it's also the power of the tribe, of the group. I mean, think about it. You're in my mastermind. You give me $50,000 and I hand back to you a 10x income, 10x wealth, a 10x marriage, a 10x relationship with your children, a 10x physical and mental health after 12 months. You have to do the work, but I'm going to show you the path. So it's the greatest ROI, return on investment, you could ever make in yourself, in your marriage, with your children and your grandchildren, and building your legacy. You want personal sovereignty. You want to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, at the cost you want to do it, on the terms you want to do it. You want to achieve personal sovereignty and build your own world. 1 + 1 equals, in our case, 15. 1 + 1 equals 15. And you're joined at the hip with other cleaners, closers, kings, and lions. You cannot not succeed. You cannot misbehave. You cannot not 10x your world, because of the incredible power of association, the incredible power of coaching, and the incredible power of accountability. You and me joined at the hip. You joined at the hip with 15, 14 other elite, generous, and driven businessmen. Man, that is a recipe for building a championship world. That is a recipe for personal sovereignty. That's it for today. You can sign up, apply for my mastermind. I got a handful of spots left. BadassChampion.com. The link is below. It's 5 questions, and then you and I will get on the phone in the next couple weeks to see if actually you are a good fit. And most importantly, am I really the coach for you? 2 out of 3, I'm not the coach. I mean, I'm not everybody's cup of Southern Comfort. I'm just like Pat Riley wasn't everybody's cup of coffee. Just like Nick Saban isn't everybody's glass of lemonade. You have to decide whether you actually really want to be joined at the hip. You have to decide whether you really want to pay the price for personal sovereignty. So apply at BadassChampion.com. There's no obligation. I don't care whether you join or don't join. It's not going to change my world. I enjoy coaching. Doesn't matter who it is that I'm coaching, long as they're solid, good students, driven, generous, and relentless. So that's it. Keep the concept, keep that principle of 1 second success in mind. The great Tom Peters. Stop all the thinking, stop all the analyzing, get it together and make decisions. Not just choices, but decisions. Decide means to cut off, to make it final. You want to change something in your life, one decision at a time, by the way. One goal, not two, one goal at a time. Replace one negative behavior with one positive behavior, one at a time. That's 12 per year. That's 12. If you do that 12 times a year as an example, that's 12 times, 12 behaviors you've changed. You're transforming your life. Just remember that, one at a time. That's how real change happens. Not two, not three goals. One single thing at a time replaced. 1 second success. 2 words that changed my life and 2 words that'll change yours. Be relentless.